April 2019. A decade of storytelling culminating in a 3-hour cinematic masterclass that had theaters packed and fans on the edge of their seats. Avengers Endgame wasn't just a movie. It was a cultural phenomenon, the ultimate payoff for 21 films of character arcs and unforgettable moments. This was the movie where our heroes faced their greatest loss, rebuilt their hope, and went on one final mission to undo the devastation caused by Thanos' snap in Infinity War. The stakes were higher than ever, and what we got was a roller coaster of emotions. Today, we're counting down the top 10 moments from Avengers Endgame. Kicking off our list is a moment that's equal parts comedy and chaos. Hulk being forced to take the stairs during the time heist. While revisiting the Battle of New York, Hulk is told he can't ride the elevator with the others because he's too heavy. Annoyed, he grudgingly takes the stairs, grumbling the now iconic line, "So many stairs." But this funny moment triggers a chain reaction that reshapes the mission. Hulk's frustration causes him to barge through a door, accidentally knocking Tony's briefcase and the Tesseract right into Loki's hands. Loki escapes with the cube, which not only sets up his Disney Plus series but forces Tony and Steve to adapt on the fly, which leads them to traveling even further back in time to the 1970s to retrieve both the Tesseract and more Pym particles for the journey home. Without Hulk's staircase rage, we wouldn't have gotten the emotional father-son moment between Tony and Howard Stark or Steve's longing glance at Peggy Carter. It's a minor mishap with huge consequences for the team and the timeline. At number 9, we have Scott Lang's emotional reunion with his daughter, Cassie. This scene is a quiet but deeply moving moment in a movie filled with high-stakes action and drama. After being stuck in the quantum realm for what felt like 5 hours to him, but turned out to be 5 years in the real world, Scott emerges into a world he doesn't recognize. His confusion quickly turns to heartbreak as he wanders through his neighborhood, seeing abandoned houses and missing person posters everywhere. His first stop is a public memorial wall listing the names of those lost in the snap. As he searches frantically, he finds his own name among the missing. This discovery shakes him, but it also sends him rushing to find his daughter, desperate to know if she survived. You can feel his panic and desperation as he rushes to his own home, unsure of what he'll find. When the door opens, he's shocked to see a teenage girl standing in front of him. His little Cassie, now grown up. The look on his face is a mix of disbelief and overwhelming relief. Scott's voice cracks as he says, "You're so big." It's a simple line, but it carries so much weight, showing how much time he's missed with her. This moment hits even harder when you remember Scott's deep connection to Cassie throughout the Ant-Man movies. She's always been his driving force, his reason for becoming a hero in the first place. Their reunion reminds us of the deeply personal stakes of Endgame. For Scott, it's not just about undoing the snap. It's about reclaiming the life he lost. Our next moment comes from the very beginning of the movie, when Clint's family gets snapped away. He's having a peaceful picnic with his wife and kids, teaching his daughter Lila how to shoot an arrow, while his wife prepares lunch nearby. But then, everything changes in an instant. As Clint tells Lila to retrieve the arrow, she disappears without a trace. Confused, he frantically calls out for her, only to realize his wife and 2 sons are gone too. This scene is masterfully done. It's haunting in its simplicity. No epic music or dramatic build-up, just the devastating reality of what Thanos' snap did to half of all life. For Clint, this moment is deeply personal. It strips away the one thing he fought to protect. This loss sends him down a dark path, transforming him into Ronin, a brutal vigilante who takes justice into his own hands. His journey in Endgame starts here, and it shows how grief and anger can push even the most grounded hero to their limits. It's a powerful moment that not only sets the tone for the movie, but also gives us one of the most compelling character arcs in the film. After the Avengers locate Thanos on the Garden Planet, they realize he's destroyed the Infinity Stones, making it impossible to reverse the snap. The group is left devastated, but it's Thor who takes matters into his own hands. Without hesitation, he decapitates Thanos in a swift, brutal strike. But this isn't a victory. Thor's grim declaration, "I went for the head," is steeped in regret and failure. It's a reference to his mistake in Infinity War when he didn't aim to kill Thanos outright, which allowed the Mad Titan to snap his fingers and wipe out half of all life. Thor's reaction speaks volumes about his emotional state. Killing Thanos doesn't bring him any peace or closure. It leaves him feeling more lost than ever. This moment sets the stage for his downward spiral, as we later see him consumed by guilt and self-loathing, retreating into his grief and adopting the persona of Bro Thor. It's a powerful scene that shows us a hero dealing with failure and trauma in a raw and relatable way. After returning all the Infinity Stones to their respective places in time, Steve doesn't come back to the present. Instead, he chooses to stay in the past and live the life he always dreamed of with Peggy Carter. It's a decision that's deeply emotional and marks a huge shift in his character, putting himself first after a lifetime of sacrifice. The scene we're left with is beautifully understated. Steve and Peggy share a dance in their living room, a callback to the dance they promised each other in Captain America: The First Avenger. This is more than just a romantic ending. It's a moment of closure. He finally gets to be a man out of time who finds a place where he belongs. What makes it even more poignant is how this decision impacts the future. When an elderly Steve passes his shield to Sam Wilson, it's a symbolic passing of the torch, ensuring that Captain America's legacy lives on. It's a bittersweet ending for one of the MCU's most beloved characters, giving him the happiness he deserves, but also saying goodbye to a hero we've followed for so long. This moment is the culmination of the Avengers' first big win in Endgame, retrieving all the Infinity Stones and creating their own gauntlet. With the gauntlet completed, the team faces a critical question: who is strong enough to wield it? Banner steps up, acknowledging that the radiation it emits is mostly gamma, something his Hulk form can endure. What makes this moment so powerful is how it balances tension, sacrifice, and hope. Bruce understands the risk involved and doesn't hesitate, saying, "It's like I was made for this." As he places the gauntlet on his hand, the strain on his body is immediate and immense. The visual effects highlight the sheer power of the stones as they burn up his arm and into his chest, showcasing the overwhelming toll of wielding such a force. The tension rises as Banner concentrates, bringing the snap to life with a single, determined thought. For a few agonizing moments, we're left wondering if it worked, until Clint's phone rings, and he sees his wife's name on the screen. It's a moment of quiet triumph that restores hope for the Avengers and the audience alike. While the Avengers are busy collecting the Infinity Stones across time, past Nebula accidentally reveals their entire plan to 2014 Thanos. Her neural link to her future self allows him to see everything: where they're going, what they're after, and how it all ends. It's a chilling realization because it means Thanos now has the ultimate advantage: foresight. But it doesn't stop there. He uses this opportunity to kidnap the future Nebula and send the past her back in her place. It's a brutal manipulation that demonstrates how ruthless and intelligent he is even without the Infinity Stones. The moment when 2014 Nebula infiltrates the Avengers and brings Thanos and his army into the present timeline is jaw-dropping. This twist doesn't just make the battle with him inevitable, it amplifies the tension and stakes. Black Widow's sacrifice on Vormir is one of the most devastating and pivotal moments in the entire movie. When Natasha and Clint arrive on Vormir to retrieve the Soul Stone, they're met with the grim reality: one of them must die for the other to succeed. What makes this scene so powerful is the raw emotion and the deep bond between these two characters. What follows is a heart-wrenching struggle as Nat and Clint fight, not out of anger, but out of love and selflessness. Natasha, ever the spy with a ledger she feels she can never wipe clean, sees this as her opportunity to truly atone. For her, sacrificing herself is the ultimate act of redemption. She doesn't hesitate to do what she feels is right, even if it means leaving everything and everyone behind. The cinematography in this scene heightens the emotional impact. From the wide shots of the desolate Vormir landscape to the close-ups of their tear-filled faces, every moment pulls at your heart. And when she finally lets go of Clint's hand, falling into the abyss, we feel the weight of her sacrifice. Clint's devastated reaction makes it even harder to bear, as he mourns not just a friend but a sister. Her death isn't just a shocking twist. It's a testament to her growth throughout the MCU. She began her journey as a loner, a spy who trusted no one, but ended it as a hero willing to lay down her life for the greater good. Her sacrifice is the reason the Avengers can retrieve the Soul Stone and ultimately undo the snap, solidifying her role as one of the most selfless and impactful heroes in the entire MCU. Tony's final act brings his story full circle. When Thanos declares, "I am inevitable," Tony outsmarts him by stealing the Infinity Stones with a sleight of hand. We see the stones seamlessly attached to his nano gauntlet, and with a look of quiet resolve, he delivers the iconic line, "I am Iron Man." This callback to his very first movie isn't just a mic drop moment. It's the essence of who Stark is. The power of the snap overwhelms him, but in doing so, he eliminates Thanos and his entire army. As the dust settles, we're left with a quiet, devastating scene. Peter is the first to reach him, desperately trying to tell them that they won. Then comes Pepper, who gives Tony the permission he needs to let go, telling him, "You can rest now." The scene is emotionally gut-wrenching, not just because of the loss of a beloved character, but because it encapsulates Tony's journey. He began as a selfish billionaire with little regard for others, and now he's the man who sacrificed everything to save the universe. His arc ends in the most heroic and poetic way possible. There's no debate. The portal scene is the pinnacle of Avengers Endgame and arguably the most iconic moment in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. It starts in the darkest of moments. Captain America stands alone, battered and bruised, as he stares down Thanos and his massive army. You can see the weight of the battle on his face, but even so, Cap tightens the strap on his broken shield, ready to fight until his last breath. And then, a crackle comes through his calm. "Cap, it's Sam. Can you hear me?" That's when we hear the unforgettable words, "On your left." The callback to Captain America the Winter Soldier gives us chills every time. Slowly, Doctor Strange portals begin to open, and out walks Black Panther, Okoye, and Shuri. The Wakandan trio leads the charge, a fitting nod to their pivotal role in Infinity War. But it doesn't stop there. One by one, every hero who was snapped away steps through the portals. It's a crescendo of hope and triumph. The stakes have never been higher, and for the first time, the Avengers and their allies are truly united. And then comes the moment we've been waiting for. Steve Rogers, now wielding Mjolnir, raises his shield and says those two iconic words, "Avengers, assemble." The sheer scale of this scene is unmatched, both in emotional weight and spectacle. It's not just about the action. It's about the payoff of over a decade of interconnected storytelling. Every character, every storyline, every battle led to this. And there you have it, the top 10 moments from Avengers Endgame. Each of these moments reminds us why this movie was such a monumental event in cinematic history, tying together over a decade of storytelling with heart, humor, and unforgettable action. Now it's your turn. What's your favorite moment from Endgame? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.